All right, guys, it's Mongolia Mindset, and today we got PC with us, and we're going to be typing someone he suggested, Marilyn Manson. I don't know too much about the guy. I know he's a music uh, guy. I don't know much about him. PC's interested in him. PC, you got more history on this guy?
Yeah, he's a, I guess you'd say, alternative rock slash metal artist. It's pretty provocative. Um, very definitely loves to make people think and reconceptualize their own ideas about the world and things like that. Usually through some really weird things. He's been caught up in heaps of scandals.
Hmm.
But for a lot of us during the 90s and early 2000s, he was pretty much on everyone's playlist. So, yeah.
Shit, I probably heard his music, just don't know it. Guys, if you guys aren't familiar, we use Linda Berens Interaction Styles and temperament, one of the cognitive functions. Um, we do have all these broken down. PC has been working on getting more of a manual guide out there for people to get everybody on the same page on knowledge, because that's one of the biggest problems with the MBTI community is they're not on the same page and they don't understand things the same. I'll also say that there's no way of finding someone's type better than the interaction styles, right? So, guys, if you don't follow interaction styles, just stop, man. You're basically vibe typing at that point. Get a system will make you more effective and more efficient. But yeah, let's get into it. All right, let's go check and see what the monkeys over at Personality Database has Marilyn Manson as. They have him as an
INFJ.
INFJ, guys. Okay, INFJ. So you guys are
I
aware.
would be very surprised if he's an INFJ. The dude seems pretty pragmatic to me.
Yeah, yeah. We will, like, guys, we do have the chart here. INFJs are direct, responding, progression, TIFE, SENI. They're also interests, right? They're more global interests is more what Linda Berens calls them as, trying to do the best thing for everyone. They're affiliative, right? That's more about cooperation and whatnot. And they're abstract. Okay. If he meets those metrics, we will call him an INFJ. They also display diplomatic intelligence. Like they know how to like build bridges up between people, like together. So
And for anyone who wants this typing board, this can be found at the URL at the bottom, mongolianmindset.org.
yeah, this is all PC's doing here, man. It's actually fantastic what he's been doing here. Makes it a little bit more visual for you guys. Helps quite a bit.
Yeah, feel free to use it and share it with your friends.
Yeah. And like we say, if you guys want to suggest a celebrity, you have to join our Discord. That's where everything's running. If you want to be typed by us, you got to get to level 25. In the meantime, by you getting to 25, you can have PC and Zara type you. They're also very good. And we're also rolling out our black belt system. So that's gonna be amazing.
Yeah, Demigod Dojo.
Yeah, yeah. So PC's been bringing us a lot of shit. So stay up.
Goth icon sets the record straight.
I saw this taking place on TV. I go, I know I'm going to get blamed for this. Now, I think that I've been blamed for about 36 school shootings.
Plus, what name would you give me if I were taking another name?
Salvador Dolly Parton.
I love that.
Boom.
Next on Larry King Now.
I would do it. Dolly Parton. You type Dolly Parton ESFP. So
No introduction.
I mean,
A platinum-selling
that thing
musician.
itself was NI.
yeah,
He was synthesizing two different names.
yeah. I deny.
Grammy-nominated artist, cult rock icon. He is now performing with another friend, Alice Cooper, in his Masters of Madness shock therapy tour. When he's not making music, he acts, makes absinthe, and dabbles in watercolor painting. And thanks for coming. Your name is Brian Warner.
Brian Hugh Warner, in fact.
Does anyone ever call you Brian?
My dad does.
He never got hooked on this, did he?
No. He's hooked on it. In fact, he likes to come out on tour. I think he likes to soak up some of the. He came from me, so
He helps.
with the young girls.
Oh. Tell me how this thing came. Tell me the
That sounded
shtick. How did
informing.
you become Marilyn
Is that what PC?
I said that sounded informing. He's like, he likes to soak up that, and he just stopped and let you fill in the blanks.
Yeah, yeah. He's coming off informative, but I mean it's pretty early on. I would say yeah, he's coming off informative. Um, yeah, so
Manson.
Well, we might have this in common. I was moved to Florida with my father, and my first job that I could get, I conned my way into becoming a music journalist.
so he conned his way into being a music journalist. I would say that's a pragmatic approach, because it's rebellious or contrarian. You're not doing things the affiliative route. It's kind of like you're going around the affiliative way to get things done because your focus is on what works. So you're just doing what works. So I'm gonna hit that for pragmatic. What do you think about that, PC?
Perfect.
Hmm. Thank you, PC.
Yeah, I was pretty much sure that this dude was pragmatic before he even opened up the video. So yeah.
In Florida, so I interviewed a lot of people.
Where, Miami?
Yeah, in Miami. It was a magazine called 25th Parallel. And by the time I was 19, I was a senior editor. And I was also most of the other writers. So the very first interview with Marilyn Manson was conducted by Brian
that
Warner.
sounded controlled.
So
You interviewed yourself.
By this age, I was already this.
Mm-hmm. When and where? The big when and where? More control. When and where?
And by the time I was 19, I was a senior editor. And I was also most of the other writers. So the very first interview with Marilyn Manson was conducted by Brian Warner. So
You interviewed yourself.
yeah, and I didn't have any songs yet. So I sort of
How
set
did
that
you come
deadline
up with the Marilyn Manson thing?
Well, it was the obvious watching, you know, at the time, all the Phil Donahues and Jerry Springer, before Jerry Springer. But, you know, the fact that I was born in 1969, and that was the year that the Beatles, you know, and Charles Manson, and Marilyn Monroe. I just remember as a kid, Marilyn Monroe, fake name, Charles Manson, fake name. You put the two together, it's like abracadabra, and it really describes American culture altogether. Yeah. Marilyn Manson, you've got light and dark.
I would say that's NII. S-E-N-I-D.
Yeah. Yeah. He just loves to synthesize names.
Yeah. There are already names that exist, and he's bringing them together. So,
yeah.
But you take the name of a notorious.
The names themselves all have a meaning.
Yeah.
For instance, I think the reason he named himself Marilyn Manson is because it was a dichotomy at two different sides. So you had Marilyn Monroe, who's this starlet that everyone loves, and then Charles Manson, who's this, everyone knows who Charles Manson is. So basically on the lines of, you could either be really talented or you could be an absolute shit stain in society, or you can be notorious, I guess you could say. Either way, you're going to have the same amount of attention.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of cool how he very symbolic, even with the name, so which is usually pretty indicative of NI.
Yeah.
Villain.
Well, she wasn't a villain.
No, he. Good line, Marilyn. Now, how did the makeup come about? Why the lipstick? Why glass where I can see myself talking to you?
Well, the lipstick's good, though, because then if you come home with lipstick on your collar, if you were a white-collar job man, then you don't have to, you know.
Good thinking.
See, it's always got to keep the...
But, I mean, why did you go this route?
Being a fan of Bowie, Prince, Alice Cooper, of course, and he...
So he's just name dropping here. I'm hitting for T.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, the lipstick's good, though, because then if you come home with lipstick on your collar, if you were a white-collar job man, then you don't have to, you know.
Good thinking.
See, it's always got to keep
the...
But, I mean, why did you go this route?
Being a fan of Bowie, Prince, Alice Cooper, of course, and even Madonna. I don't know. I think it's probably, you know, I wrote a book before I was famous, really, an autobiography, and that sort of turned me into being more popular by making the book. It was sort of what Bowie did with
Earn me, I would say more.
Already wrote a book.
Yeah, already wrote a book. That's weird.
Yeah, that's very outcome.
Yeah, 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 that is outcome.
Ziggy Stardust came to America and said that he was something bigger than he was. I've always just been a big fan of the art of war, or the war of art, whichever way you want to look at it. And just, if you're going to do something in life, I've always been a big fan of film and big fan of music. And I just wanted to be a part of it. And I had a lot of things to say about pop culture.
Do you do the makeup every day?
Just wanted to be a part of it. SENI, more NI. But yeah, he's coming off informative too, man.
Oh.
It's kind of like he's afraid to talk, or just like it's got that. What is it? Would it be falsetto? Would be the word? Not exactly sure.
No, it's not falsetto. He definitely has that kind of tentative, informative style.
Yeah, it's just not out there, and it's not like pressed. Like if I had to think about it, it's not really pressing down. It's kind of just like it's there, just all like diffusing all over is what I would say when you talk. It kind of diffuses all over.
Or do you ever go around just without the makeup, just like get on a plane, no one knows who you are?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's more simple. I mean, other than the fact that I probably do less makeup than any girl that I know. I mean, just a little lipstick, you take it off, and suddenly I've become a redneck from Ohio.
So you say it does less makeup. I'd say it's a T comparison there.
Yeah.
Except for women. Yeah.
So it's easy.
You like to turn people off?
Like a light type is it?
I mean,
no, you mean like may offend people? You mean?
Yeah, do you get a kick out of offending people? It's just shtick.
I think, well, it's always been for me, you know, chaos and confusion are the best form of communication for me. I think that's the way that you can really make art. You know, art should be a question mark. It should not be an answer. So, but if you ever explain your art,
SE impact statement.
Rather.
I said it sounds like an SE impact statement and more of like an impression statement as well. So
yeah.
Than letting your art be the explanation of you.
I understand.
Yeah, and you know, and then being a journalist,
Art being the explanation of you kind of sounds like ISFP shit.
You know, it's still journalistic in some ways because I look at the world and I try and think of how to process it. And then when you become part of the pop culture that you started out criticizing, and I started out as a journalist writing about people that criticized art. It's sort of, when I think back at it, it's sort of
you've done a circle,
weird progression to it. But I think
what's the progression?
That sounds progression.
They did hit a progression there.
Yeah. This is why this guy's so hard, because you get little bits of both. But that just probably means he might be very integrated.
Yeah, that was progression there. But he's coming off very informative, dude. I'm just gonna go in informative.
Yeah.
Because that's just like he is.
That's the weird thing, because I'm seeing a lot of NI, to the point that, like, you'd think from this point onwards, you'd think the dude would be an INTJ, but the informative is just so in your face.
Yeah, it would be different if he was a INTJ. It'd be quite different, man.
Yeah, you can go the whole way, bro. Yeah, and you can right click on the thing to get rid of the dots as well.
What do we hit?
Show grid.
Okay.
There we go. Yeah.
Okay, and we're gonna go with color that can stand out in fucking red. That's the bad thing. So we're gonna go in here for informing guys. Like, this guy's informative communication style. It's just like when he talks, it's kind of diffusive. So with being informative, that eliminates the direct type guys. So those are gone, and these are gone, right? And we'll hunt more. This guy is he is pragmatic, but we'll go back and make sure of it, because you never know. You can just pop out and be INFPs and shit. So
we could probably tick off SENI though. We've been seeing plenty of those too.
Okay, yeah. Seen enough SENI, so that's gonna be gone. Pop goes the weasel for your SC types. So I mean SI types. So that's gone. That's gone. That's gone. That's gone, and that's gone, guys. So what it's looking like right now is that, fuck, dude, I'm just gonna hit it for pragmatic, okay? Because we're only down to 2 types. When you
because we're only down to pragmatics anyway, and we're also down to interests. So
yeah, once you're informative and you're SENI or informative and pragmatic, a lot of times, well, informative and SENI just means you're SFP. most of the time. That's just going to eliminate all of them. Eliminate
Same with it.
uniform of an SENI. You know you're dealing with an SFP, guys.
And motive, because we're only down to motive now as well.
Yeah, motive. So basically, when you got that, you're basically looking at, is this person responding or initiating, or is this person process or outcome? And that will help you quite a bit. My favorite metric to look for is progression versus outcome over.
We've kind of seen a bit of both.
But we've seen abundance in responding with this guy. So
your quality as an artist is measured equally by people that dislike you and people that love you. That you need to have
about measuring stuff. That's TE approach. Right.
Equally by people that dislike you and people that love you. That you need to have both, or progression to it. But I think your quality as an artist is measured equally by people that dislike you and people that love you. That you need to have both, or, or you're mediocre.
You don't mind being disliked?
I care more about the people that I surround myself with, what their opinions are, and then when you think about it, you end up
that's some FYT
showing.
Shit there.
That's some TFI there.
Yeah, I only care about I only care about the opinions of people around me.
Yeah. Kind of like remind me of what Sad said, you know, in this like community, and he was making.
Good point. Yeah.
That I surround myself with, what their opinions are, and then when you think about it, you end up showing all of your inner secrets, or whatever you want to show, your feelings in songs and things like that to strangers. Essentially, I get on stage and I
sing your FI and songs,
sing things that I wrote personally about someone or to someone, and I sing it to strangers. So when people say, "Oh, is there a difference between Brian Warner and Marilyn Manson?" Those are just words. What is similar with probably have a different amount of letters in them, you know. But other than that, it's a way of describing things.
How's the tour with?
So he lost me because he's so informative. I don't even know what the fuck he was talking about, really. Like I got like but like because he's so.
It sounded like a FI identity statement where he's kind of talking about where does he as an individual, where does the artist Marilyn Manson.
Mm-hmm.
Like, where does one end and where does the other one begin? And I think at this point in his life, he kind of feels that both are melded together. Again, synthesis, more NI. So, yeah.
With Alice Cooper going.
We're just starting that. I'm looking forward to it, obviously, because he was a big influence on me as a kid. And my mom, I remember, my mom now is, you know, I guess it's been coming for quite some time, but she's mentally ill, like to the point where can't communicate with her, which, you know, it's sad, but I had to, of course, deal with it in my own way, and so I don't look for sympathy when people say I'm sorry about that. Of course, I wish it could be different, but I can't change it. So, but I just remember when I was a kid, my mom used to tell me, my mom used to love Elvis and Alice Cooper. And that's why I dyed my hair black first time.
I know Alice pretty good. Alice used to hang around Beverly Hills.
He's
sports
great.
fan, golfer.
Yeah, we met recently. The first time we met was in Transylvania. No lie.
You're kidding?
No, we were playing at some festival, and it was in Transylvania. It was that you couldn't even make that up.
Do you play an instrument?
I play guitar, but you know, I mostly sing.
Do you sing together in the act?
We plan on doing a song together, but I'm not going to say which one.
More with my guest, Marilyn Manson, after this. Don't click away. Our guest with
the suicide ring, and it's just a light socket thing.
Suicide ring?
Yeah, and you just plug it in the light socket, boom, you're shot.
Oh, I see. Kill yourself.
Yeah, I mean, it's a sarcastic art piece, but I thought it would be good for an engagement ring.
You think you're misunderstood?
No, I'm just understood differently by everyone. I think that's the best way. It's almost like Mickey Mouse. You know,
how did you
evolve? You can't really evolve. It's the way that.
How'd you get famous? What made you? What did something happen? Was it a hit record? What happened?
I think it was a moment in pop culture, in MTV, in rock and roll. It followed grunge, and Alice even said this. He said someone asked him what.
It was a moment, SC, that followed grunge. TE.
What did you think when you first saw Marilyn Manson? And, you know, because a lot of people have always said, oh, it's just like Alice Cooper, you know, girl's name and so forth. And he said, thank God somebody finally did something exciting after grunge. And for me, I went to college briefly at Broward Community College. I went for about 3 months, and I took theater and journalism, and I learned how to spell blonde with an E if it's a girl, and I learned to speak in front of people. But for the most part, I'm shy, even though what I do on stage completely would not give you that impression.
Do you date?
He admits to being shy, so it's a little introverted there. And he's talking about what he got out of going to school for, what, 3 months until the outcome, the end products of going to school for 3 months.
I date. I have a partner, a girl.
You're
I don't like to use the word girlfriend. But
you're heterosexual.
Oh, I'm very heterosexual. Was that what kind of question was that?
It was a same question.
No, I didn't know. I didn't know.
Marilyn.
No, I didn't know if you were. You asked me out on a date.
No.
I'm just kidding.
You said you voted for the first time in 2008, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Who'd you vote for?
Well, I voted for Obama.
Did you vote for him again in 2012?
I didn't like the whole process of voting because they didn't even ask my name. I didn't even present a driver's license. I just thought it was so random. But
Didn't you? Well, you had to be on the voting list.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know how it worked. It was very.
Where did you vote? In what city did you vote?
In Burbank at a hotel.
You just walked in and voted?
Yeah.
So you're now against voting?
No, I'm just, you're a king, so you should be into the feudal, the monarchy system.
I could issue decrees. Well, John Kennedy once said, the public really would love a kind king.
That's true.
Which is leave me alone and do things.
Yeah, I was very obsessed with Kennedy right after the whole Columbine thing that I got blamed for. And I made a record. Well, I just remember sitting watching TV in Chicago, and I saw this taking place on TV. And I go, I know I'm going to get blamed for this. It's not like when
Why
you
were you blamed for Columbine?
They didn't have. It was the best face to attach to at the time, because I put myself in the role of villain. Because I think villains are the key to any good story. But even starting with the Bible.
Did you endorse mass shootings?
No, absolutely not.
But so why you in Columbine?
Because I happened to have a song in The Matrix had just come out, and they're shooting, and I had a video on TV called Rock is Dead. The kids weren't even fans of me. I think they probably thought that I was too much of a sissy.
I'm thinking that's a lot of SE there. It's a lot of things that we can all verify with our 5 senses.
Because I was wearing lipstick. I don't really know. I don't know
about. I was just going to say, before when he was talking about the shooting and stuff, he's like, I know that something's going to come from this.
Yeah.
Very, very annoying.
Yeah. Well, you must have got a bad rap for that.
Yeah, it kind of put my whole career on hold. A lot of people don't know about it because I had to really take an active stance legally against a lot of news places for using Marilyn Manson, which is trademarked, much like Mickey Mouse. It's not.
Did you sue people?
No, but I had to put a cease and desist order, so now people don't talk about it. So in some ways, I feel mad that, other than Bowling for Columbine, which a lot of people at airports and things like that always say, I didn't know you're so smart, what you said in Bowling for Columbine. And I always want to say, I didn't know you're so stupid, but I don't know you. But, I just said the simplest thing of all.
Which is?
I just said nobody listened to him. If they would just listen to me. Michael Moore asked me what I would say, and I said I would just listen. That's probably
when Columbine happened, though, as soon as it happened, did you know you're going to be?
Are we good with responding here? PC, what are you thinking?
That's an FE shit there.
Yeah.
No, that was an FE.
Well, you want to keep going? You want to keep going, or we done?
Sorry, man.
You can hear me? Can you hear
Sorry?
me? You want to keep going? We're done with this.
No. Dude's ISFP, man. Yeah.
So, guys, he's an ISFP. Marilyn Manson, ISFP. Here, guys.
You can just use the T for the text and just put it in there, but yeah.
T for text. This pen, right?
Yep.
This pen's ISFP, guys. He's ISFP. Obviously, this guy's creative, ISFP. He's gonna be Enneagram 4, probably 4, W5. That's the reason why, someone says he's pretty intellectual or not.
I was going to say, if you want the text, man, just go to the T on the left-hand side, and you can just do a bar. It should be perfect. T halfway down. Yeah.
Figure it out later. So he's ISFP, guys, and he's creative. It is what it is. This guy's creative. He's a 4W5 Enneagram. We'll figure out how to do that. There's some weird reason, like when I'm sharing the screen, it like pulls. It is. I think it's because I have it on, like you can. I think it's because you got remote control.
Me?
Shit, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not even touching my keyboard, right?
No, I'm just saying, like for some reason it just pulls. I don't know why. But whenever I do like remote control, so he's creative, guys. Creative, 4W5. So he's more about his own identity. But he's also, he's got that intellectual 5 in him, which probably surprises a lot of people. May lead you to, think he's a INTP or INTJ-ish with that five with him. I'm gonna hit him for SP. She seems to be self-preserving, and I would hit him for sexual as well. You got to know. So 4W5 SP, ISFP creative. What are you thinking for his overall development, PC? What are we thinking here?
He's a bit weird because usually when you start seeing someone's child function aspire that much, it's usually because their parent and their critic function aren't really doing the heavy lifting. So, and this whole time, man, you'd swear the guy was an NI doll.
Yeah.
But it's his child function. So I would probably say below average. We saw a bit of SE, but I didn't really see his critic at all.
Yeah. I mean,
it's a shame, but
I would say he seems he uses a lot of NI, but he doesn't seem to use it in a way that self-sabotages him. And I do think he does have a bit of SE in him. So I would not, I'm not seeing many shadow functions. But I would probably say he's on the average tier. I'd say maybe average, maybe.
Yeah, I was going to say the only shadow function I probably saw was that Effie at the end.
Yeah.
When he was talking about those kids, and I was like, yeah, that's the opposing starting to show up, which was pretty good, but that was it. Yeah. So
I'd say he definitely, like ISFPs and INFPs, their superpower is listening to people, right? So that's the reason why he said what he said, like people listen to him, right? If you follow Dario Nardi, you'll know that they have the largest listening times. The INFP being 1, and then the ISFP being second to that. So their power is listening. So I'm gonna hit this guy for I'm gonna hit him for average ISFP, man. You know what? I think he might be above average PC.
okay.
His TE sounds a little bit better. He seems okay with it. He ain't running from it. I'll go above average. But he is a weird motherfucker. I think the trouble that people have with him typing him is because of him being creative, right? It's got that kind of meshing in a little bit of the starter mentality into his personality type a little bit. So that might create some problems there. Like if you notice someone and they have, let's say, a different thing, like if they have more in charge in them, right? Then that will display. You'll see a little bit more of that, right? So with him being creative, that shows him being more rebellious, more all over the place.
We did notice some progression, so yeah, that would make sense.
Being all over the place, like it's more of the starter energy, right? If he was dominant, he'd have a little bit more in charge energy when he speaks, and you'll see some of that stuff play out, and it does trip up people sometimes. So that's Marilyn Manson, guys. We got him for ISFP. He was an interesting guy. I can't say I learned anything from him. PC, you learned anything from him?
Not really, no.
Any nuggets? Anything?
Well, The only thing I really learned is just about how to type the dude, because he was a bit of a weird one. So
Yeah.
I didn't learn so much from him, but I learned something more from the typing session per se. So yeah,
Yeah, he's a weird motherfucker. That's all I can say. All right.
indeed.